Good morning, Anne's Choice, and welcome to this edition of Trivia. I believe we are focused on the 4th of July this week, so this week's theme is freedom, and I believe a little bit of trivia sprinkled in for the good old USA. My name is Jeanette Collins. I'm the Director of Human Resources here at Anne's Choice. I don't typically get to do these, so I'm really excited to be here today. I've been with the company for a decade, and I've only done this once or twice before, so hopefully I can get in front of you guys a little bit more often because I don't typically get to be resident facing, so this is exciting for me. I do want to introduce my co-host, or let him introduce himself, and the reason why we asked him to be our co-host here today.
Hello, I'm Shane Sparling. I'm the senior facility manager here at Anne's Choice. Hope everybody's having a great day. Part of the reason I was asked for this was I am a retired veteran of 20 years in the Navy Seabees. Phenomenal tour and opportunity I had. I actually retired in 2014.
Okay.
So I joined in '94 and at the young age of 21. So I started a little bit late. Did the typical tour, Great Lakes, Fireman Apprentice, went to the USS Boxer, commissioned that in '95, and then eventually got the opportunity to upgrade, or go into the Seabees, which is the construction side of the Navy.
Okay.
Did that for the remaining of my 17 years. 3 tours to Iraq, a couple other locations, Korea, UAE, and a few other areas, which I really enjoyed. So, and we moved out here to Pennsylvania from California in 2021. So I've been enjoying my time here, helping out with everybody here. A lot of my naval career has been able to transfer to with the maintenance, engineering, and grounds departments. So it's been very helpful.
I remember interviewing you and you telling me about all of that. So, well, I couldn't think of a better co-host to be here today. Thank you for your service, and thank you for everything that you do every day for our residents. So I'm happy to host with you today.
It's my privilege, as always.
So we have the perfect co-host today for our theme. Just a reminder, if you can log into menti.com, I will read the code to you a few times, let you get set up before we get started. So menti.com, our code today is 2116-7214. Again, 2116-7214. All right, so make sure that you look at your device and enter your name. I see some people joining. Lots of emojis, 24 people. No, that's 24 questions, sorry. 24 I can't count, apparently. All right, so menti.com, one more time, the code is 2116-7214.
See a fox, where's the cat?
I don't see a cat.
I
see a koala and a ghost and a penguin, crab. 13 players.
Yep.
24 questions, 13 players so far. All right. Okay, we're going to get started. You want to take the first one? You want me to take the first one?
I can read the first
one. All right.
What battle of the American Revolution War started the war on April 19, 1775? Was it Fort Washington, Siege of Boston, Concord and Lexington, or Saratoga? Hopefully I can say those words right.
I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know. And I actually do like history, so the fact that I don't know. All right.
And Concord and Lexington.
All right.
Very good.
Majority of you got it right.
There we go. There's the major battles of the American Revolution. So you can see up on the top, I believe that is Massachusetts. So, yep.
All right.
Very good.
All right, question number 2, get ready. Remember, the faster you answer, the more points you get. All right, what was the alternative government that the Americans set up during the American Revolutionary War? The Freedom Seekers, Continental Congress, I can't see this far, folks, Federalist Reformation, and Democratic Office.
It's a little far.
It is a little far. My eyes aren't great. All right, the Continental Congress is the correct answer. That's 12 of you got it right. So the first Continental Congress, they met in Philadelphia in September and October 1774. They were not yet thinking of open rebellion, and they called for colonial rights of petition and assembly trials by peers, freedom from a standing army, and the selection of representative councils to levy taxes. The TV was just pushed a little closer to me so that my bad eyes can read the screen. Thank you, Chelsea. So learn something new every day, huh?
That's it. So we got 10 people ready.
All right.
All right. Remember, answer as quick as possible, faster than I can read it. Future President George Washington and whom was present at the first meeting of the Continental Congress on September 9th, 1774. Thomas Jefferson, James McHenry, John Adams, James Madison.
I can take my guess, but I don't think I'm going to be right.
I
I'm really
think-
embarrassed to say I don't know any of these.
Lost a lot of it.
John Adams, maybe?
Everyone's voted. And
Oh, yeah.
John Adams should have known with the beer.
Right?
Yep, I got to remember
Yep.
the beer. So. First Continental Congress convened September 5th, 1774. Every colony represented except for Georgia. 56 delegates included Samuel and John Adams, Joseph Callaway and John Dickinson from PA, Patrick Henry, Richard Henry Lee, and George Washington for Virginia. Goals: respond to the intolerable acts, defend American rights without war. Actions: endorse the Suffolk resolution or resolves, sent a petition to the king conceding power to the parliament to regulate commerce, but denouncing actions taken to date unconstitutional.
Wow. All right, question number 4. The Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776. It wasn't until what year that the British formally surrendered at Yorktown? 1776, 1777, 1781, or 1789?
I think I got this one.
1777? No?
I can't
Give me
tell
the
you.
answer,
Nope,
Shane.
no answers over here.
'All right,
1781.
1781. Wow,
That's
that's
another 5 years.
yeah, that's a gap.
Yeah.
Did not know that either. Chelsea always teaching us new things when we're here.
Absolutely.
So the British surrendered at Yorktown. Cornwallis made a fateful mistake of leading his army to Yorktown, Virginia. American and French joined forces and attacked. The siege lasted about 1 month. They blocked any exit route the British had by sea. They surrounded them and bombarded them day and night. On October 17th, 1781, Cornwallis surrendered, marking the end of the American Revolution.
Yep. You know where I remember that? The
I-
movie Patriot.
I don't think I've ever seen that
Got to
movie.
watch that. It's a great movie.
Yeah. It's funny because I always tell my husband I'm better with history than him, but I'm really not doing good today.
Chelsea's got us all stumped.
I know. All right, let's see who's got the lead so far.
Oh,
All
Anita
right.
Bath.
Anita Bath.
Anita Bath.
Anita Bath.
Anita.
That's cute. I need a bath.
Anita Bath.
I see what you did there.
Yes.
So second is Betty Melvin, and third is Nick W. Fastest is Johanna or
Jana.
Jana. Not sure how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Here comes question number 5. The technology that exists in your car is owned and maintained by the Air Force.
Ooh.
Hands-free driving, GPS, advanced driver assist systems, or backup cameras.
I think I know this one.
You think?
Yes. I'm going to go with GPS.
I'm going with backup cameras. No. The GPS.
The GPS
Yes, it
wins
is.
it.
And why is that, Harriet?
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a lot to read.
Those are
We
some
do
really
have
small
a
words,
GPS
too.
heritage, and I don't think I have bad eyesight, but yeah, this is a struggle here. Thanks, Chelsea.
So we're going to skip that because Shane and I can't see the screen.
Yep.
So question 6. All right, there have been 27 versions of this since its debut. The national anthem, the flag, amendments to the Constitution, or renovations of the White House. Oh. I'm not going, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the third one. I don't know. I mean,
27 versions. Yep, American flag.
oh wow, it's 2 of them. The
Sure,
flag
that
and amendments to the Constitution.
Yeah.
That was a trick
That was a
question.
double question there.
All right. I did not know that about the flag. Whoa, look at all
Yep,
those.
there we go.
Wow, okay, I had no idea that there were this many versions. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now the last version is Betsy Ross though, right? Isn't she? No?
No.
No?
Betsy Ross wasn't in 2019.
No. I can't read those. I can't read those dates, Shane. There's no way.
No, I believe that's the 17. Oh, Betsy Ross was the 1777 to 1795.
Oh,
That's
okay.
Betsy Ross.
Are you reading that?
Yes.
I can't read that.
Yes, I can. I can debribe by
And
the.
I have my contacts in today.
I can tell by the B and R. That was the second and third
Got it.
word
All
in
right.
there, so I was able to pick
At
that
least
up.
one of us can read today. I think it's you.
What year was the White House finished being built? 1776, 1792, 1800, 1829. I think I know this one.
Okay. You want to wager your guess?
Well, I'm trying to wait a little bit.
I don't think these folks have to worry that we're giving them the answers.
some reason, I'm thinking it's connected to the address, 1800 Pennsylvania Avenue.
There we go. Look at that.
There we are.
1800 it is. Don't worry, guys. We're not giving you the answers because clearly we don't know them.
Oh, 1600. I'm sorry. 1800, 1600.
Oh, that okay.
I'm 200 years off. I'm sorry.
No cheating here, folks. Don't listen to us.
We'll get there eventually.
Oh, look at that photo. Oh, wow.
Chelsea's in the background criticizing me.
Do you hear her back there? All right, question 8. All right, during what war was the White House burned to ashes? The Civil War, World War I, the War of 1812, or it has never burned down?
That's why I went from 1600 to 1800. You know, I had to rebuild it.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wow. Okay, so in the War of 1812. Okay, didn't know this fact either. So on August 24th, 1814, British troops led by Major General Robert Ross captured Washington, D.C. after defeating American forces at the Battle of Bladensburg. Following there on August 24th, 1814, British troops led by the same Major General captured Washington, D.C. after defeating American forces at the Battle of Bladensburg. Following their victory, British soldiers set fire to the presidential mansion. I did not know that. The British occupation of Washington lasted only about 26 hours, and a heavy storm helped extinguish the fires. That's interesting. The burning of the White House became a rallying point for American nationalism and resilience. In the aftermath, the U.S. government quickly began rebuilding, and the event is often remembered as a pivotal moment in American history that solidified the nation's identity.
Yeah,
Very interesting fact, one I did not know.
gonna have to remember that one.
So I'm clearly not as good with history as I thought I was.
Nope, doing horrible. Pretty bad for me.
Okay, Anita Bath is still in the lead and is now the fastest responder as well, followed by Johanna.
And she moved up.
And
fourth.
Betty Melvin, I believe, holding steady in third place, I believe she was in last time. And then Nick W. right behind.
Hey, we got a volcano this time. What part of the White House was added in 1942 by President Roosevelt with a mission of concealing an underground bunker? Democratic reception room, the West Wing, South Portico, or the East Wing?
We'll let people vote, and then I'll put my guess in. But
Okay.
I'm not doing so hot, so
No, it's good.
that's that. My guess was
No.
going to be the West Wing, which
But
is
it's
wrong.
actually the East Wing.
It's the East Wing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Oh,
look at that.
wow.
That's amazing.
Find all these pictures, Chelsea. You're a deep dive on the internet, huh?
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
nice to know.
Yeah. A lot of things you don't
Think about.
You didn't live through it. You may not know it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, question 10. It was 1962 when this First Lady gave an iconic televised special showing the redecoration of the White House with artifacts from American families. Elizabeth Truman, Mary Eisenhower, Lady Bird Johnson, or Jackie Kennedy. 1962, who was president? Kennedy, wasn't it? I don't know.
I'm not opening my mouth. I can't tell.
All right, look at
There
that.
you go.
You all got it.
You guessed
Jackie
that one right.
Kennedy. So First Lady Jackie Kennedy gives a CBS News correspondent a tour of the newly redecorated White House in January of 1962. And CBS was around back then, I just learned.
Yeah, I wasn't around. So. All right. Is this number 11? How long did the Wright brothers' flight in 1903 near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina last? 2 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, 12 seconds. All longer than my television career.
They're not inviting us back.
I don't think so. All right, so 12 seconds. That's a long time for the
Yeah.
first time in the air.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that you got to start small, huh?
Yeah. First flight, the only picture made of man's first flight in a power-driven, heavier-than-air machine, Kitty Hawk, December 17th, 1903.
Wow.
The plane, piloted by Orville Wright, has just taken off from the monorail. Wilbert Wright, running at the side, had held the wing to balance the machine until it left the rail.
Wow.
I almost said Orville Redenbacher.
that's what
Thinking
I
some
thought it was.
popcorn over here. All right.
11 players, we lost some.
Uh-oh.
All right. If the first manned airplane flight was in 1903, in what year was the first airplane crash that resulted in a fatality? 1910, 1908, 1905, or 1903?
Well, at first I was thinking the first crash, that would be 1903. Because it flew for 12 seconds and then it crashed.
But no fatality,
No
hopefully.
fatality, so I had to stop that one.
1908.
Wow.
Okay.
Had
And
a
I-
good record, 5
I
years.
wonder, so 1903 was that first little plane that we saw. I wonder by 1908 what they looked like.
Well, maybe Chelsea would
Oh,
show
wow.
us.
There we go.
There we go.
So Orville Wright survived. Another did not. So this was the first fatal airplane crash that happened in the U.S. It was September 1908, September 17th, when a plane piloted by Orville Wright crashed into a field after the propeller of the plane snapped a rudder control wire. Wow. So that wasn't, I'm assuming it wasn't his brother, because it says another survived, but it doesn't talk
Yeah.
about his brother. So, Lieutenant Thomas Selfridge. If I had just kept reading, I would have answered my own question.
Yeah.
Who acted as an Army observer on the flight. So he became the first fatality from any airplane accident in the U.S. Wow.
Broken ribs
Interesting.
and fractured thigh.
And the plane doesn't look too much different than that 1903 picture that we saw.
Yeah, it looks a lot
Yeah,
alike.
interesting.
So lucky number 13. That's
Is
my
you?
birthday.
Oh,
Prior to March 2025, this was true about the United States. A person could marry their first cousin. A citizen only needed a passport to go into Canada. There was no official language, and people received tax breaks if they could link their heritage to mermaids.
oh, interesting. I think I know this one since it just happened.
Yes.
Yep. Right.
There is no official language.
No official language until this past March.
Wow.
Interesting, right? So,
So English is still the primary, but English is the official language of the United States as declared by an executive order March 1st, 2025. This marks the first time the U.S. has had an official language since its founding, and 32 states have also designated English as their official language.
wow.
Didn't know that.
I
Didn't know
wonder
they
what
had
the 32 states are.
I never knew we didn't have an official language.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Anita Bath, she's still in the lead, but our fastest has
American.
changed.
Mayor I can.
I see what they did there too.
Yep.
Cute names, guys. All right, question 14. Who is the most decorated Olympian of all time with 28 medals? This person is also American. Katie Ledecky, Simone Biles, Shannon Miller, or Michael Phelps? I feel like it's either Simone or Michael, but I also don't think I recognize the other two names. Good old Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps. That was an incredible.
Whoa, that's a lot of medals he's
Yeah.
carrying there.
Imagine a little weight on that one.
I know, right? Good for him. I remember when he was like the big craze everybody was talking about.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. This place in America is the only place in the natural ecosystem where alligators and crocodiles coexist side by side. Timucan Ecological Historical Preserve, Disney World, Everglades National Park, or Carnival National Seashore?
I hope it's not Disney. 'Cause
Everybody's
I'm going there
voted,
soon.
and they're all reading better than I can. So,
That
Everglades.
makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah, been near there, but not there.
Best places to see
See
alligators and crocodiles.
in the Everglades.
That's not exactly a type of vacation that I'm interested in going on.
Yeah,
It's not my thing.
You know,
I'd prefer to stay away from them.
yeah, that's kind of how I go too. They're not my friends.
No,
They're a little snippy.
a little. This president was the only presented to own a patent and a saloon. Andrew Johnson, John F. Kennedy, Andrew Jackson, or Abraham Lincoln. Okay, saloon, very old-fashioned name. 1800s, kind of, early 1900s.
When did it start we started having a patent?
That's a good question.
I want to say 1800s.
It was
Abraham
Abraham Lincoln.
Lincoln.
So that's how old patents are?
Yeah, they were all the way back there too.
Wow. Okay.
Now, did you put a saloon in that?
Did he put a saloon in that? I
In
don't
the
know.
Abraham Lincoln boat?
So it's buoying vessels over shoals. Am I pronouncing shoals? Abraham Lincoln, mostly known for freeing the slaves during the Civil War, and few know that he is the only president that received a patent.
Wow.
I did not know that.
No.
Okay.
Chelsea's teaching us.
I know.
Makes us look bad. Thanks, Chelsea. Got 2 thumbs up on that answer. How many American flags have been placed on the moon? 1, 2, 6, or 10?
We're not allowed to talk because Chelsea
I
gave
think
us
there's
this
a lot
answer
more
earlier.
than I
She
originally
threatened
thought.
us, so
Yeah.
we're not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
Very scary. She can be
Absolutely.
scary sometimes.
All right, drum roll. Here it comes. 6 of them. Wow.
Didn't know this either.
Yeah, Jeanette and I both said 1 when she asked that question.
Yeah.
So. And there's all the different mission locations.
Interesting.
I wish I knew what the missions were.
Yeah.
What 15, 17, 11, 16, 12, and 14?
Apollo missions.
All the Apollo missions. I got you. Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right.
So, fun fact, my husband's name is Michael Collins.
Oh.
So, he's always associated with Apollo 11, obviously. If anybody has ever been to the Fuge next door, they have just preserved that space where they did, I believe it was the first G-force simulation, wasn't it?
It's the highest G-force.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's where they started it, piloted
Right.
all of it. It's where they trained the Apollo 11 individuals. So we went to a birthday there recently, and we were touring, and the Michael Collins photo was up and picture and all that. So my husband gets a kick out of that because he's like, "Look, I was on the moon." I'm like, "Well, no, you were not."
No.
But it's just a fun fact. But if anybody has a chance, the Fuge next door does tours on Sundays, is my understanding. But they'll bring you into that space and just kind of show you the history of the training and just everything they did in that facility back in the day. So I really highly recommend going over
It's
there.
real close. It's go out the gate, turn right, follow that all the way down to Jacksonville. Go straight across Jacksonville. You can't miss the ramp there.
Yeah, and they
That's
had
sticking out of
that room. Do you remember that room? Because we went there for one of our meetings, and it was the room where all of the computers, they preserved everything as is. So it's really neat. My kids loved it, so I really highly recommend going over there. Piece of history right next to us.
That's it. All right, next question. What do they say these 6 American flags on the moon look like today? White, black, still flying and still have original colors. They're all dissolved and flew into space.
I'm gonna wager my guess, but
I'm leaning toward 1 as well.
yeah. I don't know what the conditions are on the moon, but it doesn't seem. Oh wow!
Right?
Okay, that's
because you got to
not
think
what I
of the
was.
sun bleaching.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I was kind of going along as the bleach of it.
There you go.
There you
Badly
go.
faded flags. I definitely thought they would have all been disintegrated by now and flying into space. I don't know why I thought that, but let's see. There's a quote at the bottom that says, "Personally, I was a bit surprised that the flag survived the harsh ultraviolet light and temperatures of the lunar surface, but they did. What they look like is another question, probably badly faded." Interesting. So how are people going to know it was us?
Anita, there you go. Fastest.
She's still in the lead.
Still pulling the lead there.
I do hope you get a bath after this, though. All right, number 19. Which U.S. state was purchased from Russia in 1867 for a cool 7.2 mil U.S. dollars? Was it Alaska, Hawaii, Washington State, or the Marshall Islands?
Washington State.
I think it's Alaska.
That's where I'm from.
Is that where you're from?
Washington State.
I did not know that. So the purchase of Alaska, the U.S. purchased Alaska from Russia for 7.2 mil in 1867. The U.S. wanted Russian competition out of North America, and the Russians were already overstretched and could not easily defend Alaska. Most Americans questioned the purchase, but as it turned out, Alaska was loaded with gold and oil. Lucky for us. I was just reading something the other day. Oh, I know. Sorry, we moved on to the next question.
We're getting rushed
Sorry,
through there.
I like
didn't
to talk
get to share
sometimes.
my Alaska was my last state before I joined the service.
We'll go back to it after this
Yeah.
one.
This person was in the U.S. terror watch list until 2008. Desmond Tutu, Nelson Mandela, Muhammad Ali, Leo Tolstoy. Tolstoy. I think Tolstoy is a little old.
I don't know. I think Mandela, maybe? I don't know.
It's quite possible. I think you're right.
Oh, it was him.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela.
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah. I was called a terrorist yesterday, but when I came out of jail, many people embraced me, including my enemies. And that is what I normally tell other people who say those who are struggling for liberation in their country are terrorists.
Wow.
Nelson Mandela.
Interesting. I want to go back before we go to the next question, if we can stop for a second. Okay.
There we go.
So the other question about Alaska, I just saw something on the internet the other day that talked about how there's a body of water between Alaska and Russia that freezes over certain points of the year, and you can walk right across it into Russia.
I forget what it's called. It's like
it's
like a little
strait
bridge.
or
Yeah, it's a strait.
something like that. But I thought that was really interesting. That was something I didn't know either.
And I literally lived in North Pole, Alaska, outside of Fairbanks.
Okay.
9 months before I joined the service.
Okay.
So my uncles were living up there, so I went up and visited them for a year.
Did you get to do anything fun there?
A lot of fun stuff.
Okay. Like what? Tell me. I don't go anywhere.
I was 19 years old. I delivered groceries.
Okay.
I did get to ride down rivers and speedboats.
That's awesome.
I motocross riding, which is one of my passions, is motorcycles. But yeah, it was a blast. We enjoyed ourselves.
That sounds fun. That's on our bucket list. Maybe like a Alaskan cruise or some sort of trip there
Well,
with the kids.
I did do salmon dipping,
Oh,
which is a
interesting.
net on the river.
Okay.
So that was pretty fun.
See, Shane is so interesting. I'm not. That's why we asked him to be here today.
Just little snippets.
Why-
Why did the USA boycott the 1980 Summer Olympics? Fear of the AIDS crisis, protest the Soviet Union invasion of Afghanistan, plead to get American hostages back from Iran. Athletes were trying to solve the new Rubik's Cube toy. I'll tell you that thing, I just took it apart and put it back together. That's probably why I became a CB.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
something you would do for sure. That's not what I thought it was going to be.
Protest the Soviet Union invasion into Afghanistan.
Okay, interesting. I didn't know that either.
Carter pushes games boycott. Hey, look, Steelers won.
Look at that.
31-19.
Are you a Steelers fan?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm an Eagles fan. That's why
All right.
when-
All right,
why my
question
wife married me.
22. That's why she married you, just for that, right?
just for that reason.
Statistically speaking, this is the deadliest job in America with a rate of almost 18% as of 2019. Underground miners, roofer, steel worker, or the president?
Very interesting.
I feel like it's not roofer of
Really?
the others. Though my husband is a contractor and won't do roofs because of that.
Yeah.
That's what, oh.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yep.
Okay,
Nice.
it's president, not my guess.
One deadly job.
It's one deadly job. Statistically speaking, no job in the US is more deadly than that of the president. Think about it. As of 2019, 45 men have held the title. 4 of those men were assassinated in office. That's Lincoln, Kennedy, Garfield, and McKinley. While 4 died of natural causes. So that's Harrison, Taylor, Harding, and Roosevelt. That's a rate of almost 18%, or nearly 1 out of 5 who have died on the job. Interesting.
Yeah, when you put it in that perspective.
Exactly.
You know, based on what the amount of people that have done it.
Correct,
To what
yeah.
they died for.
But I guess that's why it says statistically.
Statistically, yeah. American was the fastest. Nita Bath is still in the lead.
She's crushing it.
Yeah. 2 more questions to finish it off. Is this my reading?
I think so.
Okay. I'm getting lost. I probably read a couple of doubles.
That's okay.
What date did Congress vote to free the colonies from the British rule? July 2nd, July 4th, July 6th, or August 2nd?
I mean,
I think I know.
I feel like this is a trick question.
Because she always does trick
I know.
questions. Not straightforward. But let's see what we have. The 2nd of July.
Okay.
It took them 2 more days to print it. That's why. Just kidding. July 2nd. July 2nd was the day that Congress voted to free us from British rule. However, the 4th of July is when John Hancock wrote the first signature on the Declaration of Independence in order to spread the word of the vote. 56 men signed the declaration that announced intended independence from British rule. Sorry, got a tongue twister going here. But I was right in print.
Yeah, yeah.
2 more
And then
days.
they all had to get together to sign it.
Yeah.
All right, last question. This American boardwalk is the longest boardwalk in the world. Wildwood, San Diego Boardwalk, Atlantic City, or Venice Beach? I think it's Venice.
But we're Venice Beach, California?
Yeah. No?
Possible. San Diego's pretty long.
I mean, I've
That was a
never
good walk.
actually been there, so I'm not really sure why that's my guess, but
Yeah.
you lived in California for a
I'm
while.
going to say more East Coast, Atlantic City,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I would, yeah, I can see that.
Good old AC.
Yeah.
The Atlantic City Boardwalk was the first boardwalk ever built in the U.S., constructed in 1870 to keep sand out of hotel lobbies. It was initially a seasonal structure that could be taken apart and then stored during the winter. Today, the boardwalk stretches approximately 4 miles and features a herringbone design made from wooden planks laid on a steel and concrete base. It has undergone several renovations due to damage from hurricanes over the years. Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's right
I can see that.
near us.
What?
Aw, look at that announcement.
Happy 4th of July to you. Thank you to all who have served our country in the name of freedom. That's what I was wearing last time I was on the show.
She snapped a picture of you.
Yeah,
apparently.
she held this one up.
Including this guy right
Yeah,
here.
this guy.
I echo that. Thank you. Thank you for your service. I'm so happy to have co-hosted this special 4th of July trivia with you.
249th birthday.
Right.
Next year will be 250.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, Chelsea, get working on your slides now and your questions, because that's going to be a big one. All right. So announcement number 2. Thank you for playing trivia today. If you came in first, second, or third place today, please call Chelsea. Her number is 215-443-4917. And she will get you your prize. Congrats to all of our winners. I think it was it Anita Bath? I believe it was. No,
Here we go. We're gonna
we don't know
find
yet.
out.
We don't know yet.
Ooh.
Drum roll.
Who jumped in the lead? Did somebody jump in? Nope. Anita
Bath.
Yep, she held the lead. Very good. Great
And
job.
I really do hope you get your bath after this. So. It was a pleasure today. Thank you for having us. And Shane, again, thank you for being our co-host.
Absolutely. Happy 4th of July.
Good job, buddy.
We'll get through until next time.
Yeah. Take care, everybody. Happy 4th.
Bye.
Bye.